This was the year of the internet home. The year Instagram and Pinterest became more than sources of inspiration, but they became the primary architects of our homes. We flattened our global tastes into a singular photogenic aesthetic. Every home became a set, every corner a vignette. But to understand why we design our homes this way, from the Fiddle Leaf Fig to the Millennial Pink, we have to understand the psychology of the occupant. In 2016, Pantone did something unprecedented. They didn't pick one color of the year, they picked two, rose quartz and serenity. It was marketed as the antidote to modern day stresses, visual representation of reassurance. But it was also a reflection of the culture, blending the masculine and the feminine. Pink entered masculine spaces and blue softened the feminine ones. Of course, we didn't call it rose quartz for long. It became Millennial Pink, the color of Glossier, the color of the iPhone 6s, and the background of 2016 internet culture. It wasn't Barbie pink, it was flesh and earth. It was a neutral. And the backdrop of all of this, the cults of white, simply white and alabaster, were the colors of the year. In the age of Instagram, white colors serve as more than design. They were a reflector. They bounced natural light to create an airy look, essential for high-quality smartphone photography. If Millennial Pink was the color of 2016, Hygge was the feeling. The concept of cozy contentment exploded. As the world outside felt increasingly unpredictable, the home became a fortress of solitude. We rejected sleek modernism for tactile warmth, texture over color. A single sofa had to have a linen base, a velvet cushion, a faux fur pillow, and a wool throw. This was the era of the arm-necked, chunky blanket, architectural, exaggerated, and incredibly photogenic. It was the visual mascot of our collective desires for safety and warmth. The rural industrial complex. While Scandinavia influenced our pillows, Chip and Joanna Gaines influenced our walls. The modern farmhouse became the default aesthetic of the era. We obsessed over Shiplap, horizontal wooden boards that added texture without clutter. And then there were the barn doors. We loved them for their movable art factor. We ignored the fact that they offered a zero acoustic privacy for bathrooms. We just liked how they looked in the grain of a filter. The botanical boom. In 2016, plants became the primary sculpture element of the home, and one plant ruled them all, the Fiddle Leaf Fig. It was the celebrity of the plant world. Large violin-shaped leaves that filled vertical spaces without creating floor clutter. Keeping one alive was a subtle flex of domestic competence. It was notoriously finicky. If you couldn't keep a real one, you bought a high-quality one from Target. The Instagram microtrends. This was the peak of fast decor. Pineapples and flamingos brought a sense of tropical kitsch. Cinema Lightboxes and the letterboards allowed us to literally label our lives. And everything was covered in marble contact paper. Cheap laminated tables, laptops, trays. If it wasn't marble, we made it marble. The legacy? So what's left? Art rose gold has faded. Shiplap has been smoothed with lime wash and plaster. But the core legacy of 2016 remains the Pinterest home. The idea that your home is a personal, curated refuge from an anxious world. That with a few plants and some warm light and the right filter, anyone can create a space that feels like a sanctuary. even if it's just for the gram. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you like it. If you do, please subscribe and follow up for more videos like this. Thanks.